These women by zodiac sign are doomed to eternal loneliness. There are women who are impossible to forget, but impossible to truly understand. They carry a power that both attracts and repels. Their beauty is not only external, but also dangerous, because behind it lies a deep loneliness. They know how to love madly, but it is this love that often becomes their curse. Because the world cannot bear their depth, and people cannot bear the truth they carry. Some signs of the zodiac are not born to walk alongside others, but to leave a mark on their hearts. Their life is not a path alongside someone else, but a path upward, toward their own light. And that is why fate has doomed them to eternal loneliness, not as punishment, but as proof of their uniqueness. Watch until the end, and you will find out which women carry this dangerous grace within themselves. Subscribe so you don't miss the truth that only those who are ready to see the true power of female loneliness can discover. The first sign is Scorpio. A Scorpio woman possesses a power that not everyone can comprehend. Her gaze penetrates masks, captures the subtlest emotions, and reveals the hidden intentions of those around her. She is a woman for whom the inner world means more than superficial intimacy. She does not need external approval and does not succumb to social conventions because her energy is directed towards self-improvement and understanding the depths of her own nature. Others may consider her cold or aloof, but for her, the true essence of a person is important, not their outer shell. Her loneliness is not accidental. She chooses detachment because only then does she feel the harmony and inner freedom that others seek in relationships. A Scorpio woman does not succumb to easy emotional connections. She perceives people as they are, without embellishing the truth for the sake of general agreement. Her intensity often frightens those around her. She demands depth and sincerity from the world, which few dare to adhere to. Those who try to adapt to her inner rhythm quickly lose strength, and the Scorpio woman remains alone but not empty, filled with her own energy and determination. She knows the value of every feeling and every experience, and therefore does not waste her presence on petty intrigues or superficial acquaintances. Her world is deep and complex, and not everyone is ready to immerse themselves in it without disturbing the fragile balance of her inner strength. Those around her often try to explain her behavior through stereotypes, looking for something mysterious or magical in her. However, there is no magic in her life, only a clear awareness of her own value and inner boundaries. She avoids compromises that could devalue her essence. For Scorpio, loneliness is not a punishment, but a state of strength that allows her to maintain clarity of thought and integrity of soul. People come and go, but her inner center remains unshakable. In this center, there is no room for illusions, only for honest self-acceptance and control over her own space. Her lifestyle is shaped around personal principles and deep convictions. She does not try to meet the expectations of others, does not conform to standards, and does not seek social approval. Every action of a Scorpio woman is a conscious step that supports her integrity. Those who try to invade her world with superficial intentions encounter an impenetrable barrier that protects her from disappointment and wasted energy. She knows how to recognize genuine people and genuine intentions, and only those who are ready to accept her without change can be close to her, even for a short time. Her feelings are deep and demanding. She is not satisfied with casual sympathy or spontaneous admiration. What is important to her is an inner connection, the ability to empathize and understand on a level that goes beyond words. Loneliness becomes a natural state because only in detachment does she preserve her emotional autonomy. She possesses a strength that does not seek constant confirmation from the world, but only the peace that comes from inner self-sufficiency. Those who have tried to invade this calm with superficial intentions have felt the depth of her inner inaccessibility. This is not indifference, but a clear realization that her energy is too valuable to be wasted on incomplete relationships. The Scorpio woman develops herself through loneliness and inner concentration. Every day of her life is work on strength of spirit, self-awareness, and harmony with her own aspirations. Her world is complex, and not everyone is ready to perceive it without fear. She chooses solitude as protection. But it is not emptiness. It is a state of absolute concentration on herself, her inner strength, and what really matters. Society offers compromises and easy connections, but she chooses her own integrity, and because of this, her path is separate from the masses. People come and go, but her loneliness remains filled with meaning and strength. There is no regret or loss in her, only absolute inner freedom and self-sufficiency, which makes Scorpio unique and unattainable for those who are not ready to meet her on the level of depth. The second sign is Virgo. Virgo is a woman whose inner structure and logic exceed any external standards. She constantly analyzes herself and the world around her, striving for accuracy in everything, from thoughts to actions. Her attention to detail is uncompromising, and her demands on those around her are high because she cannot accept superficiality or chaos. Loneliness for Virgo is a natural result of her relentless control over her life and surrounding events. She does not seek easy relationships because she understands the value of her own energy and time. Those who try to enter her world unprepared quickly encounter an impenetrable wall of criticism and analysis, and even those close to her feel that Virgo is unattainable on an emotional level. Her intellect and sensitivity to detail turn every interaction into a complex testing mechanism. She picks up on the slightest inconsistencies in people's words and actions and does not tolerate deception or insincere displays of attention. For Virgo, the true value of a relationship is measured by concrete actions and evidence, not empty words. Loneliness becomes a shield for her, protecting her from futile emotional losses because she is not ready to waste herself on anything that does not meet her standards. The world around her may seem unfriendly and too chaotic, but her inner order is ruled by harmony that no one can disturb without permission. Virgo avoids emotional frivolity. She evaluates people with the precision of an analyst and always knows who is trustworthy and who is not. Her demands are not born of pride, but of a desire to preserve the harmony of her own inner space. Each of her contacts is carefully thought out, and each decision is logically justified. Therefore, casual acquaintances, superficial intrigues, or immature communication are unacceptable to her. Loneliness is not a punishment for Virgo, but a choice, a way to remain accurate, harmonious, and unchanged in a world that is often chaotic and unpredictable. Her feelings are organized and pragmatic, not subject to impulsive urges. Virgo feels emotional rhythms but does not allow them to control her. She analyzes, plans, and controls, which makes her loneliness a conscious state rather than the result of failure. People who are unable to accept her exacting nature quickly feel a distance that grows with each passing day. Her life is not filled with chaotic experiences. It is structured and well thought out, and only those who are ready to respond with the same level of precision and depth can stay close to her, even for a short time. She does not allow other people's emotions or problems to dissipate her energy. Virgo chooses self-improvement, working on her own qualities and developing her abilities, instead of wasting time on superficial interactions. Her every step is deliberate, her every decision is controlled, and only this approach allows her to maintain her inner integrity. Loneliness does not depress her. On the contrary, it fills her with meaning because it allows Virgo to remain in full contact with herself, to maintain the inner discipline and harmony that others seek in relationships. Virgo knows the value of her own inner strength. She separates herself from anything that is not useful or does not correspond to her principles. She does not succumb to social pressure and does not allow herself to be manipulated. For her, loneliness is not an absence, but a state of control that ensures that every action, every feeling, and every thought serves her inner purpose and maintains her integrity. She values the accuracy and purity of emotions, so she chooses loneliness over compromising herself, and this makes her impenetrable and unique. In this state, she finds peace and strength that cannot be achieved through superficial connections, and this is what determines her path, a path she chooses herself, without the need for external approval or support. The third sign is Aries. An Aries woman is someone who always stands first in line in life. She doesn't know how to wait, can't stand uncertainty, and doesn't need permission to act. Her energy is explosive. Her character is a bundle of strength that cannot be stopped even by those she loves. Her independence is not a pose, it is a defense mechanism. She is afraid of losing herself in the hands of others, so she keeps her distance even when her heart longs for closeness. Her loneliness does not begin when she is alone, but when someone weaker than her is nearby. Her love is always a struggle. She does not know how to love quietly, does not know half-tones, does not recognize compromises. If she feels that her partner cannot keep up with her rhythm, she leaves without regret. She does not understand that it is impossible for those who do not have the same strength to breathe next to her. She wants an equal, but when one appears, rivalry begins, and that is what destroys any possibility of a stable relationship. Deep down, she is convinced that I can do everything myself. She creates an image for herself where weakness is humiliation and dependence is a trap. She convinces herself that loneliness is freedom. But over time, this freedom begins to feel like a burden. Her inner tension prevents her from stopping and feeling another person. She constantly checks whether she is loved enough, but never shows that she needs warmth. Aries women often fall in love with those who cannot reciprocate their feelings. She is attracted to complex characters, unattainable people, those who challenge her. When she doesn't get what she wants, she feels excitement rather than pain. Her love is a hunt, and as soon as the prey surrenders, her interest disappears. This is how the cycle is formed. She seeks strength, finds weakness, feels disappointment, distances herself, and starts all over again. Her pride prevents her from asking for forgiveness. She is capable of remaining silent for years if she feels that someone has offended her. She believes that dignity is more important than peace. And even when she realizes that she could be happy, she will not take the first step. She is afraid of appearing vulnerable because for her, vulnerability is a weakness that the world does not forgive. In adulthood, such a woman begins to realize that loneliness is not always a choice. Her energy, directness, and stubbornness, which once impressed those around her, eventually turn into a wall. She does not notice how people stop coming closer. Her fire, which once warmed others, begins to burn. And even when there is someone nearby who truly wants to understand her, she does not believe them, because she has long since learned to survive without support. Inside her lives a quiet fear that no one can withstand her true power. She smiles when she feels empty inside and laughs when she is in pain. She has learned to hide her weakness behind loud words and activity. And so, even in a crowd, among admiring glances, the Aries woman is always a little alone. Not because she is incapable of loving, but because she does not allow herself to be loved. Her doom is not in fate, it is in choice, in her constant desire to prove that she is strong, in her unwillingness to accept that strength can also be found in tenderness. Loneliness for her is not a punishment, but a consequence of her endless resistance to her own feelings. The fourth sign is Leo. A Leo woman is a stage on which she plays the leading role, even if there is no audience around. She lives for attention, but does not admit it. Her self-affirmation comes through the evaluation of others, so any alienation is perceived as a threat. She craves love, but at the same time is afraid of being invisible. Her inner conflict is between the desire to control and the need to be accepted. Her presence is always strong. She is confident, charismatic, and sincere in her emotions. But men often feel superfluous around her. She is so bright that she overshadows everything around her. Her strength attracts but also frightens. She strives for equality but is unable to relinquish some of her control. For her, love is a union where she leads and the other must follow. But true intimacy requires balance, not power. The Leo woman cannot tolerate indifference. If she is not noticed, she disappears. If she is criticized, she becomes cold. She cannot stand an indifferent tone, silence, or indifferent looks. She does not ask for love, she demands it. And this is what often destroys relationships. Where softness is needed, she shows pride. Where silence is needed, she raises her voice. Her pride is not just a trait, it is armor. Her loneliness is not accidental. It stems from the fact that the lioness is incapable of accepting equality. She needs a partner who will admire her but not compete with her. However, such relationships rarely give her true warmth. She feels that she is loved for her image, not for her essence. And when the mask disappears, it turns out that there is no one around. Inside her, there is a constant struggle between "I must be strong" and "I just want to be hugged." But she chooses the former because the latter seems dangerous. Her fear of being rejected forces her to control every step of others. She reads emotions like a script, always ready for criticism, and therefore does not allow herself true spontaneity. Over the years, her self-sufficiency turns into isolation. She is still confident, smiling, maintaining her dignity, but inside, fatigue accumulates. Her brilliant image becomes armor rather than adornment. She loses trust in intimacy because every attempt to open up has ended in pain or betrayal. She does not admit this out loud, but in the deepest moments of silence, she understands that no one can stay if they are not allowed to be equal. The loneliness of a Leo woman is not that no one loves her, but that she does not allow anyone to be close to her without conditions. Her love requires worship, not participation. Her pride does not allow her to say, "It's hard for me." And even when someone is ready to come closer, she sets boundaries instead of opening the door. Her destiny is to be the center of attention, but not the center of someone else's heart. She wants to be seen, but does not always understand that true love does not need a stage. And so, even in luxurious surroundings, bathed in the light of her own charisma, the Leo woman often remains alone. Her strength turns into a shadow that hides her vulnerability. And until she learns to see the value in reciprocity, loneliness will not be a coincidence but a repetition of her own script.